What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Hunter Comics. Remember that dude who has every Marvel comic from the late 60s to the 90s? Well, I'm buying his whole collection, but I'm getting it in pieces every few months. So today we got a full run of Marvel Feature, Defenders, Web of Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Shang-Chi, all sorts of stuff. I'm going to get upstairs and show you the ones you want to be on the lookout for whenever you see those runs. By the way, everything I am about to show you is going to be for sale. There are just a couple books that I'm just going to have to keep for the PC. But for the most part, I am not only selling it, but I am keeping it as full lots. So please do not message me about individual books. We are going to be selling everything as the full run of Web of Spider-Man, the full run of Defenders, the full run of Marvel Feature. The first box was Web of Spider-Man, and this was in there, so I thought I'd show you it. It was a full run of the Web of Scarlet Spider. That is the first Ben Reilly solo series. So there you go. So with Web of Spider-Man, these are the keys you want to be on the lookout for. And to be frank, there's a lot more than I'm going to show you, but they're all in that $3, $4, $5, $6 range. Some of those values I think should be higher, but it's not up to me. Before we go further, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. You could even consider joining the channel. It's the cost of coffee a month. It actually helps me do videos like this on a regular basis. First appearance of the Vulturions, and it's a gorgeous #1. Everybody knows this book. It is a beautiful painted cover. It's going to run you about 25 to now even 30 bucks I was seeing for gorgeous near minty candidates. Next up is a controversial one because it has some anti-Semitic slurs in the issue. That's issue number 8. Number 18 is actually a cameo of Eddie Brock. So let me explain. Pete gets pushed into a train. Clearly they didn't mean to make that Eddie Brock, but they retroactively added it in and said, oh, that was supposed to be Eddie. So it's a really cool book. But I'll show you the second cameo, which I like a lot better. First appearance of Humbug and first appearance of Solo. This one is the second cameo of Eddie Brock, and that's Eddie's hand grabbing Spider-Man through a building. That one I buy as a little bit more, I can make that like an Eddie Brock thing. That first one, I don't know. First run of Craven's Last Hunt, the full arc, which spreads over ASM, Web of Spider-Man, and Spectacular, you're going to want to get. This is one of the best ones, though, and frankly, it's probably one of the best Spider-Man comic book covers of all time. That's going to run you about 30 to 40 bucks, believe it or not, as closer it gets to that mint condition. Next is the first appearance of Tombstone. It's going to be about a $25 book if you find it in that perfect raw condition. And I think that's a little on the underside. I'm surprised with how cool that character is and by how expensive the 9/8s are that the raw equivalent doesn't do more. Next up, we have the first appearance of Demogoblin. Funny character. There's lots of cameos and this and that, but that's the first kind of true Demogoblin. Then we have the Spider-Hulk, classic cover, classic story. It's got some nice value. It's going to run you 20, 25 bucks if you find it in perfect. Then we got a $15 book right here. That's the first time Demogoblin, I told you he's got a lot of funky keys. First time Hobgoblin separates from Demogoblin and Demogoblin becomes an actual standalone character. There you go. Web of Spider-Man 90. This actually includes an ad, a preview for Spider-Man 2099. That actually came a month prior to the famous ASM 365 ad. So this is actually the first advertisement for 2099. All right, and then we have the first appearance of Kevin Trench, Dr. Kevin Trench, who is Night Watch. It's going to be about a $5 to $10 book. Another $10 book is the first full appearance of Night Watch. Then we have the most expensive and I think most recognizable cover other than #1. This is 118, first appearance of Ben Reilly as Scarlet Spider. That'll do it. That's a hell yeah. We also have the first appearance of Kane. Usually those go hand in hand. And then the last one is just the one where Phil Urich becomes Green Goblin. So that's actually a pretty affordable one, but I wanted to throw it in there because it has such importance in the Spider-Man mythos. And next up, we're actually going to move on to Ghost Rider. It's a funny run. I'll explain. So you have number 1, first appearance of Danny Ketch as Ghost Rider, and first Death Watch. It's going to be about a $30 book if you find it in perfect grade. Number 2 is pretty expensive too. First appearance of Blackout, one of the Lilin. That's going to be like a $25 book right there for you. Here's about a $10 book, although you can definitely find it for less. First appearance of Suicide. Somehow ties in with Mephisto. Then we have Ghost Rider, first appearance of Michael Balladino, becomes Vengeance. That's issue 21. Most of you know 28, but here it is. 28 is the first cameo of the Midnight Suns, and that's that first appearance of Lilith. Then you have the first full appearance of Midnight Suns, and that 28's like a $25 book, 31's like a $15 book, just so you know. Then we got I'm jumping a bit here. We're going from 31 all the way up to 87. First appearance of Wallow, a wraith who feeds on misery. Now, the end of the Ghost Rider run is incredibly scarce. So that's actually why a lot of these have some value. I don't think that character's huge by any means, but it's just that it is a key in the midst of the part of the run that was so low with print count and sales. In fact, it was so low that in the middle of the story, you get this issue, that's 93. The sales were so bad, they abandoned the run. Okay, that's ridiculous. And the run was unfinished. It was a cliffhanger. You didn't know what was going to happen. That's actually a pretty valuable book. Very tough to find that in high grade. 10 years later, the creative team came back just to finish this one issue, 94, which is known as the final issue of that volume. And that caps off the story, and I am so glad that they did that. I wish Jim Lee would go and complete the All-Star Batman and Robin. Okay, then we have the first solo Guardians of the Galaxy. We're moving on to Marvel Presents. Okay, so we've got number 3, the first solo Guardians of the Galaxy book. That's actually going to run you like $30-40. That's actually a pretty nice one. And one thing I love about this guy's collection is the condition, man. I mean, you guys saw me get the 9.2 with the first Deathlock. You saw me get some nice books out of that. I have gotten a few 9.8s, like the Mark Spector 55 and 57. I've gotten 9.8s out of his collection. I haven't submitted a lot of it because I don't like separating it from the full runs. Second appearance and origin of Ulysses Bloodstone, but mostly you're looking at it for this one. First appearance of Ulysses Bloodstone. This is an interesting one. This is an error printing. That Bloodstone is supposed to be all red. So there was a problem with the ink for this particular issue. So that's kind of like a neat little thing. That would happen. So it's not rare or anything, but kind of neat. And then we have Marvel feature number 11. This is actually the first solo story with the Thing, and I think that is the most valuable one in that run, other than obviously number 1. So then you have Marvel feature number 9. This is the first appearance of Dr. Nemesis in a final panel. We'll come back to that. Now these are so crispy, it's ridiculous. Number 8, origin of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 4 is going to be Hank Pym returning to Ant-Man, and first appearance of Michael Stockton, later becomes Dr. Nemesis. Okay, and this got a little out of order, but that's okay. Marvel feature number 3, third appearance of the Defenders, first battle of Hulk versus Zemnu, and then a really sharp copy, really sharp, of the second appearance of the Defenders. That's issue number 2. Now, I did get number 1. He gave that to me the last time I visited him, and I actually was able to get an 8.5 with, I believe, white pages for the Roy Thomas signing. So that is my full run of Marvel feature. We're going to move on to Machine Man. Looks like it's in descending order. So we got 19, one of actually the most valuable ones in the whole run. 1981, first appearance of Jack-O-Lantern, later becomes Hobgoblin. Cover appearance of an overweight Batman and Superman on a Marvel book. That's interesting. 17 is first Madam Menace, who later goes by the name Sunset Bane. Okay. 16 is the first appearance of Baron Brimstone. 7 is going to be the first appearance of Power Broker, Curtis Jackson, a distributor of the Super Soldier Serum. Okay. Machine Man #1. Fun fact, I actually had a 9.8 white pager of that, and it's not as expensive as you'd think. That is the first official making of Machine Man Marvel canon. It's also the first solo story. Next up, I wanted to show you, and yes, I am not selling these individually. I'm selling this as a full run. Black Panther, the full run in the 70s, had 15 issues. So with 15, we got the final issue. Got a nice value, about 20 bucks. 14 is the first published cover by Bill Sienkiewicz. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's a nice one that's got a nice value. 11 is the first appearance of Kaider the Cruel. And then jumping all the way down to issue #1, we have Black Panther's first solo series, first Abner Little and Princess Zonda. Oh, excuse me, there are a couple more stragglers in there, like #8, Origin of Black Panther and first appearance of Kanata. I love Black Panther, but I'm more of a jungle action guy. Black Panther #7, first appearance of Bashanga, possibly the first Black Panther ever. #6 is the first appearance of Jakara, the half-brother of T'Chaka. So actually, for a 15-issue run, there's a good amount of stuff in there. No, I am not selling them individually. I'm selling them all as one. And they average out to be near mint. So maybe near mint minus, but that's a fresh run. I also got the full run of Machine Man, and I'm showing it with you with #2. That's the first appearance of the Iron Man of the future. So I thought I'd show you that. That'll be for sale as a full run. I have the first 4-issue miniseries of Jack of Hearts, first solo series. The second ever Hercules solo series. And most importantly, the first Hercules solo series. Full miniseries right there. And then we've got a little bit of Galactus with Galactus the Origin. Especially nice if you can find it in a newsstand. A newstand's going to run you 40 bucks if you can find it in that near mint plus range. It's nice. And then I have the full run of Galactus the Devourer. That is, I forget, first appearance of Red something. Sorry, don't remember. But 1 and 2 is the first cameo and full appearance. Then we have the first ever solo series of The Falcon. Very popular book, that issue #1. So much so that you can usually find 2, 3, and 4, and 1's always missing. So, and then we have the first solo of Balder the Brave. And let's go ahead and move on to our Shang-Chi. Next up, we're going to talk about the Special Marvel Edition, an oddly titled run where there were 16 issues before issue 17 started naming it just Master of Kung Fu. And the first 14 issues are technically not keys, but they are iconic covers, very desirable art. But I'm mainly just going to show you the big ones. So obviously 15 and 16. Here's 15. Remember how I said that everything's being moved as a bundle, but there will be some slight exceptions? I'm keeping 15 and 16. They're that nice. I mean, I think this is like a 9.2 with white pages, and I'm pretty sure the second appearance of Shang-Chi is like a 9.6. Hell, maybe a 9.8. I don't want to be ridiculous, but maybe. So those have to be keepers, but those, if you see, they're pretty recognizable, but these are the ones you want to swing for, so you know. Now with issue 17 is when it switched hands. It's no longer called Special Marvel Edition. We got a $50 book here. First title change, second appearance of Shang-Chi, or third appearance rather, and first appearance of Black Tar. And then it jumps before the next key is going to be Master of Kung Fu 26. First appearance of the Cursed Lotus, Fa Lo Sui, half-sister of Shang-Chi, renamed Zhang Bao Yu. I'm going to be mispronouncing some stuff here. Then we have the first appearance of Razor Fist. Nicest copy I've ever found of that. That's looking like a near minty plus right there. That could also be a CGC submission. That's got a nice value, 33. First appearance of Mordillo, Engineer of Killer Robots, and first Lyco Wu, Agent of MI6. Now you're going to notice, if you're a reader and collector of Shang-Chi, you're going to notice pretty quick that all his villains are basically just dudes with different gadgets on their arms, like wrecking balls and knives and claws and hooks and talons and all sorts of stuff. It's kind of interesting that You definitely see that a lot. First appearance of Shockwave, another one you might want to find. And there were more smaller keys that I'm not showing you. 61, again, this dude is Skull Crusher. He's got wrecking balls on the end of his hands. Then we have 77, first appearance of Zaron, the Weapon Master. Seeing a trend here? Then we've got the ally to Shang-Chi, first appearance of Rufus Carter, Super Midnight. That's the first Super Midnight. I'm going to move that over here. 105 is the second and third Razor Fist. So it's the first appearance of the second and the third Razor Fist. Okay. 110 is the first appearance of Ghostmaker, not to be confused with the current DC character. 115 is the first appearance of the Death Dealer, and I'm sure that they've got something on the ends of their arms as well. Master of Kung Fu 125 is the final issue. It's got a nice value, about $15. Okay. Now, one of the most valuable ones you can find is actually the King Size Annual. I've got it here. It's the first team up between Iron Fist and Shang-Chi. So that's got a nice value. That's going to run you like $75 if you find it in perfect raw. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw it for $100. Giant Size Master of Kung Fu number 3. First appearance of Dr. Petrie, Clive Reston. First appearance of Shadow Stalker. Shadow Stalker is obviously the biggest thing in that issue. And yeah, then number 4 is the first appearance of Tiger Claw, a dude with weird stuff on the ends of his arms. You bet. Okay, then we are going to go into our Marvel 2-in-1. And there's not a ton of Marvel 2-in-1 keys, so I'm going to show you the ones to look out for. Here's issue 21. We might hop around a bit, but 21, first appearance of Black Sun, later known as the Nth Man. I've got issue number 5. First Captain America meeting Guardians of the Galaxy, and the second appearance of Guardians of the Galaxy. We do have issue number 1, team up of Man-Thing and The Thing. That's the first issue to the solo series. That can get expensive. 29 is the second appearance of Spider-Woman, and this is interesting. That's the second appearance of Spider-Woman. This is the third appearance of the Spider-Woman, and the third appearance is significantly more valuable than the second appearance. My hypothesis is it's the second cover appearance. Her second appearance, she's not on the cover. So this third appearance, she's on there. Maybe it makes that much of a difference. Her second appearance is like a $10 book. Her third appearance is like a $40 book. Weird. 2-in-1, number 42. At first mention of Pegasus, first Jude the Entropic Man. And then I actually have a rare Whitman of this, so I really wanted to show you this. Look at this, folks. The earliest possible example of direct editions in an era with all newsstands, 1978. First appearance of Machine Smith, formerly Mr. Fear, and that is the rare Whitman. So that's really cool. I'm going to show you issue 52 here. That's the first appearance of Crossfire. Near minty gorgeous, man. That's nice. That actually can get all the way up to $50. Origin of Kazar. I don't know if I ever pronounce his name right. I'm not a fan. I don't know that character real well. First appearance of Titania, Screaming Mimi, Pound Case. Death of Deathlock, and frankly, even more. It's a pretty valuable book, especially if you find it in high grade. You're talking $60. Then we have the first appearance of Giant Man, formerly Black Goliath. That's issue 55. 58 is a small one. I don't know why I included that in here, but hey. Oh, okay. First appearance of the Nth Man. So it kind of ties into that Black Sun key. Then we have number 60. First appearance of the Impossible Woman, not the Impossible Man. And this is a nice one. I'll show you 61. Marvel 2-in-1 61. First appearance of her. Not him, but her. Kind of a nod to Adam Warlock's character there. Later becomes Kismet and Aisha. 64 is the new Serpent Squad roster. 71 is the first Maelstrom, Gronk, Phobius, Hello, there's a character named Hello, and the first cameo of Death Gurge. This is the first full appearance of Death Gurge, Herald of Oblivion. And that's about it from that run. It's a long run. I forget how many issues there are. Maybe 100? And there's probably only like 10 you want to grab. But those 10 are good. Now, in terms of the annuals, you gotta look out for number 2. This is the biggest one out of all the annuals. Death of Thanos, First Lord Order, and Master of Chaos. That's a hell yeah, and that's a near mint plus. I would love to send that to CGC, but again, I want to move this all as one batch, raw. Kind of keep it like how it was. I mean, this is all from a dude who bought everything off the rack. It never exchanged hands, so I kind of like keeping it all together. First appearance of American Eagle. I forgot my key issue sticker on that. And then this is a fun one. I love this. First appearance of the Champion of the Universe. That's a great read. Get on it. Next up, we're going to make a quick detour into The Thing. It was a 36-issue run in the 80s, and basically it's all about number 1, first solo series and origin of Ben, or The Thing, and then the first appearance of the second Captain Marvel. That's issue 35 of a 36 run, named Sharon Ventura. And obviously there's smaller keys, like you can get the first appearance of Sharon Ventura, but that's the one to get. So, The Thing, nice and easy, 1 and 35. Keep an eye out. Okay, now we're going to get into the Defenders, and this part is where I really hate that I'm going to sell this as a full lot, because number 1 isn't near minty, but shortly after this particular collection gets really near minty. There might be some crazy grades in here. First solo series of the Defenders, first appearance of Necrodamus. Number 2, Silver Surfer joins the Defenders. 3 is not a key, but 4 is the first appearance of Barbara Norris as Valkyrie, and Valkyrie joins the Defenders. That's a nice one. That's going to get expensive. Number 5, Origin of Valkyrie, goes well. Then we got the first appearance of Sirius Black, and the cover depicts him with a very much Black Knight suit knockoff, which is interesting. Defenders 8 and 9 is Avengers Defenders War Part 2, Part 4, and then Part 6, and this one's got a nice value because it's a classic Thor versus Hulk cover, and that, my friends, can get pretty expensive. And this is, again, the nicest copy I've ever found of that. So, 11, Hawkeye leaves, and another Avengers Defenders War tie-in. Then we got the first appearance of Dragon Fang, issue 12. We got the first appearance of Nebulon, first cover appearance of Nebulon. Watch out for this. Luke Cage meets the Defenders for the first time, and the first cameo of the Wrecking Crew. Not sure why that value isn't more. It's like $40-50 if it's in perfect grade raw. Most people look at this one, the first appearance of the Wrecking Crew, or first full appearance, I should say. That can get up to 100. These days, it's a little bit more like 70 for the highs. That's one of the ones I was looking at. It looks perfect. I'd love to send it to CGC, but I just don't want to break this up. Number 19, second appearance of the Wrecking Crew. 27, first cameo of Starhawk. 28, first appearance of Starhawk. That's a nice one. Watch out for that. 32, first appearance of Ruby Thursday. Not Ruby Tuesday, Ruby Thursday. Defenders 42, first appearance of the Star of Kapistan. Am I running out of room? Yes. This next one's an interesting Nick Fury key. We got Defenders 46, first appearance of Max Fury. It's a Nick Fury life model decor. Defenders 52, first appearance of The Presence. First appearance of the second Valkyrie, or Svanna, aka Ross VS. I cannot read my handwriting. Valkyrie and cover. This one's a nice one. This can get pretty expensive too. That can actually cross over the $50 line if you get it in that perfect grade. It's the first battle between Namor and Black Panther, and the Wakandans and the Atlanteans go to battle, and they almost go to war, but it gets averted. 89 is the origin of Hellcat. More importantly, they say the S word in this issue, and editors missed it, and it got the Comics Code Authority, so that's kind of a fun one. Then we got the first appearance of Gargoyle, and Hellcat transforms into a demon. Let's go ahead and put this over there. I've got Defenders 108, first appearance of Brunhilde in her own body after centuries of being under the control of Enchantress. 112 is one to look for. This can be about a $30, $40 book. First Power Princess, Nuke, and Arcana Jones, members of Squadron Supreme. Now we're moving on to the giant-sized Defenders, which I think there were 5 or 6 issues. Here's number 5. Third team appearance of the Guardians of the Galaxy. First appearance of Vance, later becomes Marvel Boy, and then later Justice. Okay. One of the biggest, most expensive books here today, actually. First appearance of Korvac, and that's the nicest copy I've ever found. So I don't know if I'm going to sell the Defenders as a full run plus the giant size, or if I'm going to sell them and then the giant size as their own thing, because that's actually like a $300 book. Yikes. Okay, then we got giant size number 2, team up between Defenders and Son of Satan. And then we have giant size Defenders number 1. It's just gorgeous, and it's the first issue of the giant size. And then you have the first Defenders annual number 1, team up between, never mind, not team up. So those are the ones to look for the Defenders. Those are the ones to look at for Ghost Rider, Web of Spider-Man. I'm going to be back at his house in a few months, probably a couple months, to pick up the next batch. Hopefully by then I'll be getting to the Daredevil. And at the end, I'm getting the full run of Uncanny X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm looking forward to that final trip, let me tell you. It's worth it, and probably one of the things I'm most excited for 2024. We are doing a huge claim sale this weekend. We're not even doing anything below $10. We're doing everything as wall book only. There's going to be a lot of stuff, $15 to like $200, a lot in that range, and a lot of really good, submittable, gorgeous shaped copies of stuff. So make sure you're joining. Make sure you're there. We're also, I'm going to be mentioning there my full runs. And if you want them, that's where they're going to be sold. So I'll see you all on Sunday on the claim sale. Don't forget to like on your way out and keep on hunting.
Make sure to come down to Sentiment Depot Antiques and Collectibles, where I'm set up with all of my comics, located at 238 West Delaware Ave, Pennington, New Jersey. Open every day except for Monday and Tuesday. Enjoy 10% off from Wednesday to Friday. See you there.